Welcome. Hello, media world. I am. No, I'm quit playing. Smiles Mariucci, bitch. Raw Dawg.
Dawg.
Welcome to MusixFuture's quarterly review. I ain't got no better name for it. If you think of a better name, why don't you hit me up and let me know? We could work on something. We give you credit for coming up with the name, helping us out.
All right.
But nah, this is MusixFuture's quarterly review. What we gonna do here is, like the name says, we gonna review the albums that have come out in each quarter of the year. That's gonna be the mainstream, some of the more popular mainstream albums, but more importantly, the underground albums, the more local albums. There's a lot of cats out here who do a lot of great things underground, and we always hear people say, there's no, I don't know where to go to find no music. It's too much crap out there. I don't want to search through it. Well, we gonna do the searching for you.
There you go.
We gonna do the searching for you. Whatever comes across our ears that we think, this is all opinion based. Nothing is factual. Our word ain't stone. If we like it, well, I feel like we got a real good ear for good music and
your boy Vicious. I like digging through the crates.
Right. You got the opinion of an MC and a DJ, a seasoned DJ.
It's gonna be real fun as well.
Different opinions. Like I say, it's quarterly, so every 3 months, starting in December. So December, January, February, and that was done so we can do something special at the end of the year, and those December guys don't get forgotten.
Right.
A lot of the time at the end of the year, these December guys get forgotten. The purpose of the review, as I stated already, was pretty much we're gonna review popular material, underground material, local material.
And that's a good point, though. I mean, as far as because a lot of people, by default, even sometimes don't even have time to go and dig that music out, or even know where to even begin searching for new music.
Right.
It's easy to turn on the radio and have them tell you what's hot, but that becomes the problem in our musical society.
Sometimes a lot of people don't like that music they hear on there.
Right.
A lot of people always feel like there's no more good hip hop. Well, no, there's a lot of good music.
Right.
A lot of good music that's released.
So I think through this show, I know that's what we looking to do is facilitate the people that's looking for music and don't know where to look. We got you. We're gonna bring some good in-depth reviews as well, though. I think,
and we gonna review a lot of stuff. We not hip hop purists, so we're not gonna only review the boom baps. I'm a fan of 2 Chainz.
I don't know about all that.
I'm a hip hop purist, but you know what I'm saying though. Y'all know some people be real strict on it. I like a lot of variety of stuff and a lot of music in general. So I think we're gonna give a real unbiased look at a lot of projects. And in order to do that, what we've done is we've created a review process pretty much. Of course, the review process is subject to change. It can always change.
This is a bill right now.
Right. We sat down and we thought about what we could do to make this show as unbiased as possible. Although we are giving opinions, how do we review an album on some kind of criteria, some kind of standard, some kind of structure?
Right. What we did is we came up with a crosshair system, because hits. I'll be in the hit, man, so I was a little influential on that. But we're going to use crosshairs like they may have used in other forms of some type of, like as equivalent to mics or any kind of bullet form of that. We're going to use crosshairs. So to get on the target, you got to produce some good music.
Right.
So we're going to start off there. We're really going to concentrate on good music off top. We're not going to spend a lot of time on stuff that maybe not even on the radar, let alone on the target. So if stuff does, if we miss something, we are always looking for you to put us up on something. So you hit that MusixFuture page and put your suggestions and stuff up there and let us know. Maybe it's something we didn't listen to. Maybe it's something that we gotta, because we want to cover as much music, and underground is real important to us, like Miles said.
You know, we want it to be real interactive. So it's not just our opinions. People tend to like what other people like. People tend to want to know about what other people like.
Word of mouth is big.
Right. And so this is the place where not only will you get our opinions, but you'll get the random opinions of regular people like us. People who, you know, non-industry people, I just want to listen to good music fans. You're going to get the opinions of artists, DJs, producers, business people. Anybody who listens and enjoys music, share your opinions. Be interactive here, because everything in MusixFuture is meant to be interactive, and it is meant to be a voice for those of us who make underground music and who don't have that shine, but as well as for fans to help support those artists that they listen to.
Man, I'm glad you said that though, for real, because that's something big with me. As far as like from my personal DJing mission, it's been for a long time. And just speaking on some local music right quick, before we get into those aspects, just because you brought it up, like how we switch those blunts up, variety of blends.
You know, we switch up the blunts, we switch up the topics.
Ace. But no, but like local music, we really want to concentrate on some of the stuff that goes on, because we don't really get a lot of play. We don't get a lot of play. So music gets unheard, and we got to bring that forward, you know. We got to do that. But anyway, on this structure for the criteria of how we're going to give these crosshairs out, it's going based on 4 elements right now. We're starting off with 4 elements, but again, we are open for suggestions right now, because this is a build. And this is how we build, and we wanted to lay this out as a disclaimer, and just to let you know that we're actually basing our reviews on a criteria. And there's 4 elements, and them 4 elements are lyrics, beats, music, and concept, overall concept of the album or the project at hand. So, like, lyrics in recent years have become real important now. People are finally paying attention and really giving respect to a lyricist, you know, which is overdue, you know. But there's a lot of, to me, there's a lot of variation in who thinks what lyrical content has substance and what doesn't have substance.
Right.
Who's mumble rapping, but are you just not listening close enough? There's a big spectrum of debate out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the lyrical aspect is big in the category. Like you know, I think we're going to touch on some of the sub bullets are metaphors, of course.
Metaphors,
you know,
yep.
and punchlines, of course, but concepts though too.
You know, are you concepting with your, are you storytelling?
Right.
Are you getting out there and just spitting a ferocious, not even 16? You know, some MCs, some of us like to do the 32, the 64. We like to go bananas.
Sometimes it works
on tracks. You know, are you giving us them hot bars? Are you giving us a full song? Are you giving us any kind of concept? You know, with your lyrics. And again, that's what we're looking at. You know, do your lyrics, and don't get us wrong, because there are also those who have lyrics who, while may not be the most technical, may not be storytelling, may also just be speaking the plain truth in heartfelt words and lines that you can feel. There are some cats out here who aren't the most technical, lyrical. I don't expect you to be Eminem, Royce the 5'9", Tech 9, you know, super duper lyrical with your stuff.
Right.
Sometimes people can just be heartfelt.
Right.
And they shit so true you feel it. That's part of your lyrical aspect as well. So there's a wide spectrum of lyrics that's being looked at.
Wordplay.
Yeah,
How clever.
all
like
of that.
I mean, you know, some stuff can be elementary, but then some can be like at such a higher level of it takes a certain type of intellect. And some of these artists really have a mastery at wordplay. You know what I mean? It ain't always about syllable counting.
Right.
And how fast you can, you know what I mean?
And I'm a fan
yeah,
of
like,
fan
you
of
know what I'm
fast
saying?
rap.
Like sometimes a real basic rhyme can say a lot. It's really like you said, it's about what it's written from, heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? So lyrics is gonna be definitely definitely a big bullet. You know, because content, you know, overall content of lyrics, but then the second one would be beats.
Well, before we go into that beat section,
all right.
Give us a second. We're gonna go ahead and play you a little music. Just vibe out to this.
Some of that, how about we gonna hit them with some of the underground stuff that they may not have heard, because since this is the introductory show, let's just give them a taste of some of the type of artists that they may encounter. So yeah.
Enjoy a little bit of this music, and we will get right back to you over here at MusixFuture's quarterly review.
It was all a dream, not all eyes on me. The most valuable poet on the MIC. Shout out to Wu-Tang, cause I'm about that cream. While I shimmy y'all like I'm ODB. Got you all in check now, but I bet they rewind that back and just pause. Man, hip-hop saved my life. I don't know about y'all, but that my wife. They all said she died, but that ain't true. Cause you keep it real with me, I keep it real with you. We all make mistakes, but that's okay. Cause this type of happens every day. So you can get with this, or you can get with that. They saying that she dead, well that is not a fact. They wonder how I mix the history with facts. It's all cause of love, cause hip-hop's where it's at. Hip-hop saved my life, oh hip-hop saved my life, hey. Hip-hop saved my life, oh hip-hop saved my life, hey. It started with a hey, and then you heard a oh. Now hands in the air, follow everywhere I go. Cause hip-hop saved my life, oh hip-hop saved my life, hey. Passion like Lauren with a voice like G, nasty like Trina with
some good music incorporated in this show. Hopefully
you all enjoy it.
Right. But I'm pretty sure.
If not, just stay with us, because we gonna give you a variety of different tastes and feels when it comes to hip hop music, because hip hop, the culture, gives you a lot more than one particular sound, one particular way of doing something, and that's what we hope to bring you all.
With that,
before we gave you all that little break, we were moving on in our process of review with our crosshairs, which is our symbol pretty much for rating, the crosshairs. The second bullet point was beats.
Beats, and just like we was just talking about, beats drive hip hop without a doubt. So beats is most definitely, in my opinion, is one of the top bullet points, of course, because it's what really drives. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to take your head to get the bobbing, and that's going to really probably initially attract your taste buds first. It's going to be that beat. When your head get the bobbing, you open, and then when you know if that lyric comes in right, it's probably going to hit on a good beat.
Right.
Sometimes that's where sometimes bold lyrics. So we ain't going to talk about lyrics right now, because just solely beats alone can attract a listener.
Right.
And they'll listen to some garbage sometimes, maybe. Somebody need to go some garbage or rhymes, and it'll mask the fact that it's a weaker rhyme. We'll say it like that.
Right.
And
the beat just
you'll ride that
captivates you.
beat, right? Yeah. You'll ride that beat.
You know, and people got a lot of different preferences in beats, and we understand that. You know, we all have, and nobody's excluded from this, me included. We all have our particular sounds that we prefer. What we want to do here is bring to you different sounds, and everything may not be for you, and hopefully some things are, because that's the point, is for you to be exposed to these artists and maybe find a new artist that you've never listened to, and you may want to start following and listening to, and you found new music. You know, because it gets repetitive listening to the same thing over and over.
Again,
So from your trap music, we listen to trap music, you know, those basic 8-track beats, to the most instrumental beats.
Right.
You know, you got your guitars and all that. Your boom bap sound, a lot of people are particular and prefer that. So we listen to and we'll be reviewing.
And then sonically, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? It's got to be produced well, too, the beat or whatever. And beats being the core. You know what I mean? Like, really, I look at the beat as the foundation. That's the cement. That's the concrete. You know, then what happens is, as relevant as that is, it's kind of cut and dry with the beat.
Right.
It's popping.
Either it is or it
banging, or
ain't.
it's really not. So with that is the difference in between. Now I want to interject the third bullet, which is music. And some might say, but you already said it about the beat. Okay, but the beat is different than the music. There's music, then there's beats, and of course music has a beat to it, but there's a difference. And with getting that third bullet of music is going to have to incorporate your lyrics, and it's going to come down to how well your lyrics match up with the beat.
Does it complement the beat? You
Right.
know, I mean, and us as artists always know
And vice
you can
versa.
have great lyrics and on a bold beat, or you
Yeah.
can have a great beat with bold lyrics.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just don't fit. That when we talk about music, that's what we're talking about. When we listen to the song as a whole, and we're no longer focused on the beat, we're no longer focused on the lyrics. The song as a whole, how does it make you feel? Does it go together? You know, we got those songs out there that are real. I don't want to call them one-hit wonders, but
there's a
the
reason
songs
why.
in the mainstream that they real pop, and you put them in the whip and they knock it. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, they do all of that. And they make you feel good. And you could have an album full of that.
Right.
You got guys out here who may not produce some albums that are full, maybe what we call hip hop,
Right.
but are great songs.
And I think the
Great
key word in what
they
you said
make
is
great
produced.
music.
Produced. And you got to take the word produced seriously. Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you producing? You know, and that sound and that music is key. You have a lot of engineers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have engineers that can record well, but they're not necessarily good producers. Not to say there's not producers that could be engineers and engineers that could be producers.
Right.
But it doesn't absolutely go hand in hand. And that's why you have engineers and that's why you have producers.
You can almost throw a slash up there with music and call it song.
So the production, I'm just
Because
getting
we're
into the
looking at the
aspect
song
of
as a
music.
whole. Right.
As opposed to a beat.
Right.
You have to be able to, it's got to be a good production. Not just sonically sound good, but that's part of it as well.
It's got to be. It's the whole
gotta make
collectiveness
sense.
of the song.
It gotta make
The
sense.
song itself. If you do a concept, all right, we looking at your song. You got the lyrics on there, dope as hell. You got some fire lyrics. You got bars in there, but you have a concept for this song. Do those lyrics match up with that concept? Did your concept come through? Did it make its way through to me? Do I fully understand what it is you meant to do? Or not even fully, we'll say partially, because a lot of songs have a lot
Did
of
it
depth
marry up
sometimes.
with that music?
I mean,
Did
the
it-
music, but the concept as the song as a whole. You know, sometimes guys, you got the hook, and then you listen to the words on the song, and they have nothing to do with the hook. The feel of the song could be something real popping, and you talking about some real morbid, sad shit.
Right.
Is
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It don't go together.
Or did you have a
Dark
great
ass-
concept and your
Yes.
lyrics didn't match
Yep.
up and you didn't get your point across?
Yep.
You know, that's the kind of stuff we looking at when we looking at song, when we looking at music. That's why I say you can almost throw the slash song in there because we looking at everything collectively
Well, that's
about that
the
song
music
as
bullet.
a whole.
The third music
Right.
bullet is achieved by doing that, creating a song essence. That's what I would look at it like.
Right.
You definitely differentiating the beat
Right. And the
music,
lyrics from
and
the
lyrics,
music.
combination of all of that, you know.
Mhm.
And like I said,
And
yeah,
like you said, production and the engineering
man,
side
come
as
on.
well.
Come on,
That's part
because arrangement on that production of that music, what creates music is sometimes, okay, You can have all of that. You can have some real good a beat that's got a lot of music involved in it. But if it don't have any breaks in it, it don't have the proper arrangement. When is this instrument ever being emphasized over that one? When it's all playing at the same time. This is part of that production that creates a great
dope beat.
song.
Right, you might have a dope beat with some good lyrics, but we all know that basement sound sometimes, you know. We looking at engineering. We looking at all of that.
How much passion more does a lyric have when the beat drop at a certain time and you feel that, and then
all that,
and then the artist's cadence changes, and that's big lyrically on the whole vocal side of going back, just to skip back to the lyrical side is, you know, it is an element of how fast or how intricately you can flip those words. I don't think we really put an emphasis on that. We're talking about content as opposed to da-da-da-da-da-da. But it is something to be able to run them shots off at will, like, you know. But
definitely.
You know,
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of a lot of stuff, and that's gonna be the interesting thing about this show.
So when a rapper does it, just to come full circle back into this music thing, when the beat, when he goes into that and that drum roll might go at the same time, you feel what I'm saying? Now you done got that third bullet. Bow! You done hit it center point. You ain't no longer on the you ain't on the chart
right there.
Yeah, you ain't on the radar no more. You ain't even just in the crosshairs. You dead center, then hit that mark. So yeah.
You know, that's almost a collectiveness of the first two, if you will.
It is.
Almost.
It is.
I mean, you could actually miss one of the first bullet markers and still pull that third one.
You most definitely
be talking about opinion, but
you need lyrics. You need a hot beat.
It's almost.
But you definitely need to mix them together to get that music out of it. Now,
if you got something different going on, you skating by me. Your beat, your music really got. You know, there's some people whose music really holds them over heavily. And there's some other ones whose lyrics really hold them over heavily, and I think like we gonna really see that.
It's hard not to like a Dr. Dre track. I don't care who's on it. I don't care what they really doing. Like it's just something about a Dre or even a Timbo.
There's somebody watching this right now, like, man, fuck Dr. Dre.
I mean, I know they
fuck that. That nigga piece of. I know a nigga right now, dog. I talk to at work all the time. And that nigga be like, man, fuck that. Dre be so whack, dog.
Whatever, dog.
But I don't say that shit. I actually like Dr. Dre, but it's, you know,
there's
a
big range of producers as well.
Right.
And I guess, you know, that does come into play in that category of music because what producer you have associated with your tracks become crucial as well sometimes. The actual person that you have, you know, because the intellect that goes in, the experience that goes into what a producer does is real big, you know, in an artist achieving what they had, the original vision. They had a vision in their head, you know?
Right.
And then that's going to end up leading us to our fourth bullet, dog.
And we going to get to that fourth bullet. We going to play y'all another song. Again, another local, another underground.
Let's pick something with a little bit of concept.
Okay,
because
so
that's gonna be our fourth bullet.
We gonna pick a concept, and that's how we gonna do it. Y'all hold that button and just listen.
Yeah, from the back porch, back there with dreams of a stacked fortune. Black kid with dreams by any means to seize some cell phone keys to a black portion. That American pie, he just wanna portion. Product of that environment that he was forced in. Changed course when it's out of control. Feel it down in my soul. Fast forward and foresee that fork in the road. Listen, mention you on the road, foreign car whipping. It's mind bending. Open your eyes, I'm bending the rules. Time ticking. The time's different on a globe where every soul trying to survive in it. That's the main concern. Whole hood celebrate when the tables turn, you see. Feels like I'm on the cusp. Great forever, forever's not long enough, it's just.
Back again. Yeah. Musix Future. Future, man.
Wise man
I
once said,
I like the whole title of it. Just the whole name that you built on that, bro.
Because
Like,
we're looking at the future of music, man. Hopefully, we can expand it, but we're going to start off with hip-hop and the hip-hop culture.
that's
And,
right.
the local scene, the underground scene, because they say hip-hop dead. Well, if it's dead, it lives under the ground, right?
It ain't
Well, it's
dead.
underground. So that's what
ain't
we're looking at, because that's where it's living at. It lives underground, great music always coming out, and we gonna dig through the garbage to find the treasures
Yes, I mean, because I just believe that all they got
to present to you.
Oh my fault, I didn't cut you off, bro. But I'm saying though, it's you can't almost blame people as much as we might man, why do people listen to certain music so much? Well, if all they have is the demonstration of mainstream to demonstrate what we supposed to think is the best stuff makes it on mainstream. That's just the thought process that we might suffer from, but it's not true when we know payola and whatever, all kind of political stuff exists that get people on. It's not the grade of music or the content or whatever. So one thing before we get into our final bullet point, I would like on that note to say to any artists out there up and coming, man, don't change your style for what you think is gonna get you on, man. Stick true to what you do, and like when we talked about them lyrics, that's the only way your lyrics will be heartfelt. You know, you can't say, okay, this is popping right now, let me do this. I mean,
You grow
at some point,
you grow, but
that may
stay
be
true to you.
that may be beneficial to a certain extent, but if it takes you outside of your artistry, then I don't really suggest it. But anyway, moving on.
What about the artistry here?
Artistry is big, and in artistry comes concepts.
Right.
Which brings us to our fourth and final bullet point. Well,
The
final for
crosshair.
right now. Right now, our core basis is of 4 elements, and we went down through them.
In reviewing that, it was lyrics,
Lyrics,
beats, music, which you could throw a slash in there for some if it makes it
Right.
easier. Music / songs.
Right.
Lyrics, beats, and music. And the fourth crosshair is concepts.
concepts. Now, overall concept of an album, starting from title, I would say, what we agree to title,
From the title,
the artwork,
the artwork for the cover, any other artwork
inside
of it.
artwork, the literature that's involved
Right.
in it, whatever.
The overall concepts of the music. We're gonna discuss the individual concepts
Of
on each song,
Right.
but we're gonna also look at the overall concept as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Do all these songs fit in a particular story? Because some artists take the time to create an entire piece of artwork for you, and sometimes you gotta give it its fair due in order to see that artwork in its full vision. And a lot of times it may go from top to bottom. There are a lot of old albums out there that we all know have done this. I mean, for some of the young people, it's Kendrick Lamar with that first one he did. He gave you the story and the interludes. A lot of songs give you the interludes always mean something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's jokey and it's fun if that's the artist's personality.
But it sets it
also
up.
It also sometimes sets it up.
Yeah.
There were a lot of albums that came out at the beginning of this year where they have some nice concepts and they have it set up like that, using the interludes, the end of songs, the beginning portion of songs.
Right.
Concept is real important in this crosshair.
Right.
And in order to get it, sometimes it's some of the hardest because I'm real particular.
You
can give us a weak concept and you may not get a crosshair from me. It's just, this is my opinion.
Right.
We discussing
on that
opinions.
level, right.
We're not discussing facts, and our opinions ain't stone cold. This is what it is.
No.
We talking opinions, and we never here to bash anybody. We're not going down. If we reviewing it, obviously we like it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna take the time to discuss your
Absolutely.
stuff if I don't like it. That's just the way it is. I'm not gonna bash you up here and say, "Oh, it's trash." Throw it in the garbage. We're not doing none of that.
Right.
We have enough of that in our hip hop community, in our culture, and we just here to support underground and local artists. So when we discussing concepts or anything, we giving you our honest opinion,
Right.
and you have to understand that it's good, but we're gonna also be honest, even with our favorites.
And if I'm being real, in the process of reviewing and giving a grade of something comes an explanation, and that explanation isn't to be taken in a negative light. It's just, okay, it was at this level. If that level was kind of weak to some in comparison, then that's what it is. or whatever, but that's not the point of bringing it up. It's to give some explanation behind why we may have not given a star at some point.
Right.
Because there was reasons why you didn't get it.
Right.
Now let's be real. It lacked probably in this area, and it's just being real.
The reason to us is always the more important thing, because there's a lot of different styles of music. There will be artists who get a star for lyrics who are some of the most lyrical, and there will be some who may be real lyrical and technical and still don't get a star. The reason is the most important thing, and that's all you have. That's what we're here to give you out. We always joke about everything, and we laugh and we talk a lot of shit.
No doubt.
But the reason is always the most important. And that's where we're going to be fair and down the line. You know, there's going to be, like you said, it's never to be negative. Because if we're reviewing it, we're trying to put it out in the forefront so people get a real understanding of at least what we heard, what we felt we heard, and if it sounds like something you would be interested in, that you go check it out.
Not only does it creates reasoning for you to go listen to it. So like maybe you'll listen. Our end game is that you watch these shows and these reviews, and we give you reasons to go and check an artist out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're not giving you reasons to not listen. We give you reasons to listen.
Absolutely. If you take that direction and you go listen to it, we absolutely want to hear your review. So please make sure go subscribe to our
MusixFuture
MusixFuture pages, social medias, all the way across the board, from Facebook, Instagrams,
Twitter. You can all be found at MusixFuture.
So the show, we're going to get into all of that. But now, this biggest bullet, number 4, concepts, man. I know, but I'm just saying to continue on with it.
Hey man, I thought he was tripping for a minute, man. I had to tell him like, hey man, we just did concepts.
Oh no, we ain't done.
I thought he was
Because
I was like, is we gonna re-review? Wait a minute.
No. I'm just saying, like, because it's so big. It's a big bullet. Concepts, overall concepts, because like you said, from the title being relevant to does each track tell a story as an overall album story. This album was called Super MC Immortal, and everything he talked about on there was aspects of immortality.
Right.
Like if he was on the grid right now, if he was in this quarter, getting looked at, that album was up this quarter for review.
That was something we.
A concept would be blow out the chart. You get all over the target with something like that. I like stuff like that. I was talking to Ace earlier about an example of it was Kendrick Lamar, and I really liked the process that I went through the Damn album in finding the concept in it. I'll probably share it with you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see. I was like, first thing, I'm doing me. I listened to it and I'm like, okay, this is random as shit. Like, whatever, But then I looked at it, looked at the track list, and I said, all one-word titles. They got my eye. I said, okay, that's a concept. Remember I said, okay, I found a concept in there. Okay, let's go, Kendrick. And I looked at it, I said, so as I went through the titles, I said, okay, there's a pattern in it that they're all elements. And they're all building something, but then there was actually a story there.
Yeah, when you
and then
listen
you're
to
running
the
it
music,
frontwards, and then you're running it backwards, and it's just like...
I did all that.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, conceptually, blah, 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 he all over the target. If that was...
He got the Scarface treatment with the Tommy gun for that one.
Yeah, I mean, on one of them, that's why he's going to get that.
On that one.
Now, if you don't come with elements like that, you might not get that target. You might get.
That's a hard one to get.
You might get beat.
You might have a decent concept, and it be. I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of conceptual good albums that came out, but that real concept one, that's a real hard one because that incorporates everything about your album, from the title to the cover. There's a lot of album covers nowadays that are similar to other ones.
Yeah.
And there are some that are very artistic in the sense that it stands with the whole concept of the album itself.
Okay, can I share this though? Okay.
All right, and we're back. Jim, how you doing? All right, we had a little tough little break in the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's all we really wanted to cover. This is that first part to the first episode of the MusixFuture quarterly review. It's just pretty much the disclaimer. You know, letting you know how we're going to do things, the purpose for us doing this, the reasoning behind it, what we plan to achieve with this. Everything is starting at the beginning, from the sound to the visuals to the editing to everything. So hopefully as we progress, you stay here with us, you see the progression, you go through the progression with us, and you enjoy everything, because that's the most important. You're going to get a lot of shit talking. Y'all that know me know I'm silly. V and everybody we hang with is silly. We're going to have a lot of, we deal with a lot of people on the underground in Detroit. Shout out to East St. Louis. There's a lot of artists out there I'm familiar with, and our goal is to give shine to everybody, not just Detroit. Right. So if you know artists, if you send us the music, tell us what we should be listening to.
It's really about new music. Like for real, you on that search for new music, and if you get frustrated having to listen to the radio or mainstream to tell you what's supposed to be good out here, I feel your frustration. And that's what we're trying to alleviate, a little bit of that frustration, and just give you some reasons to listen to some of this music, and hopefully you like it. I'm pretty sure you will.
I like the music I listen to. I listen to music 10 hours a day. So I listen to a lot of music every day. And so we just trying to bring that to you. Again, I am Miles Mariucci.
It's Hitman Vicious.
Raw Dawg, Real Raw Dawg Media Group.
For life.
Powered all of this. Be on the lookout. Who is KT Gibson? Shout out to him, Rock City down in AZ, and everybody associated with them.
Big shout out to APC and Sunny Cartel.
There we go.
Super MC.
There we go.
Our HP bros out here doing it. It's a big Detroit underground scene, and we're gonna touch on that.
We're gonna touch on a lot of y'all.
That's automatic. But to all our peoples that we get on with nationwide and even worldwide, we're gonna be touching base with them too, and even with our fan bases and our listeners and our followers, their input to bring attention to some of the good music that comes from their regions.
Yeah.
You know, we might even they might hit the radar. So that's what it's all about. Good music hitting the radar that drops each quarter. We're going to be doing this. So our quarter consists of just like a fiscal quarter. So
3 months, starting from December of last year, 2017, December, January 2018, and February 2018.
Right.
We did that with the point of, at the end of the year, we're gonna give you 2 episodes, and one is gonna be the final quarter, and the next one will be the full year countdown best albums. How we view them, how we review them. After a full year from some of listening to them, how we've digested them over the year.
So hopefully during this, that's what this episode right here was all about. It's all about our process, so you'll understand, because we're not gonna do this again. This is it right here.
You want to hear how did y'all do that? Go back and listen to the first episode.
This is why we came up with it, because we didn't just pull them out our ass or wasn't feeling good or didn't like a person a certain way. This is not about built on really negativity at all.
Ain't nobody paying us. Ain't
like
nobody doing this for no clout.
We're not going to really even play anything we don't really like. It's not about that. We want to put you up on some good music that, at least that we think is good music or worthy of a listen. You know, and sometimes that's all good music needs is a listen. It's like a product sells itself. You know, a good product sells itself no matter what it is. And some people know on the underground what that means, and even overground. You know, a good product sells itself, meaning if you smelled some good food, nobody got to tell you what it is. You're going to like it. You're going to say, ooh, what is that?
Right.
Good music is the same way. When it hits your ear, nobody got to tell you that's good music. You're going to say, hey, what is that? You're going to ask. If people don't ask about your music,
we going to get you the stuff with the lyrics. We're going to get you the stuff that, we know some people like to ride with they boom, boom. I like a little knock in my music too, so I understand it. You know, it was a lot of good stuff that came out this year. You know, from G Perico to Snoop Dogg had an album 220. I'm looking at Black Rock, Onyx.
Black Rock, Onyx. I can't wait to talk
Lazy
about
Bone
that.
and Busy Bone did one called Bone Blood.
Yeah, we gonna get into that one.
Audio Push, Cloud 909. Daz did one. Childish Gambino, Black Milk, Sky Zoo. Of course, we're gonna talk about Black Milk and Elzai's albums. Elzai and Crisis did one. Jericho Jackson. Dave East, Jeezy.
Eventually, we're gonna get to Royce, right?
Hey, I said from December to February. So of course we gonna get Royce.
That's on the next.
That's on the
episode.
second quarter. That's on that second quarter. You know, there's gonna be a lot of people. Mark Battles, Vozzy World, Victory Lap came out this year. Vita Ruler. These are not all the albums we gonna talk about, but that's a list of people. I'm looking at my phone because they all right here.
It's a lot of music.
I'm looking at about 30 albums that I've listened to so far this year.
Right. Man, we've been busy. We've been busy. And we approach each one of these projects with all this criteria that we laid upon you in this episode right here.
Yeah.
So
every single one.
We just want you to know that though, because it ain't nothing, our opinions ain't built on no bullshit.
And all these are albums I listen to. So all that long list of names, that's not people that's all the stuff that came out so far, but that's everybody I listen to. So we gonna touch on a few of them. That's a long list. We ain't gonna do everybody, but those are some of the names we gonna touch on. If you want to see us review one of the albums, let us know. Maybe for a quick point we'll do one, you know, on a special episode, or maybe at the beginning of another video. Let us know.
Well, with that in mind, we're working on the whole getting you involved with this whole process as well. We're implementing a community-based critique as well. So we might implement that into a fifth crosshair that artists can shoot at.
Yeah.
Take a shot at.
So again, check us out, MusixFuture on Facebook, on everything. It's just MusixFuture, MusixFuture, MusixFuture. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, this is just the beginning, so we will be growing and developing this. There's also a lot of other things in the work we ain't gonna speak on yet. As they develop, we will bring you the information about them. You all have a blessed day. Have a blessed week whenever you watch this. Stay tuned. We're going to give you the reviews of these albums, and we're going to keep it moving on to the next quarter and so forth. 2018, we out.
MusixFuture.
Now I was born down in Alabama, dog, but Detroit's where I grew